Hello, my name is Michael Biller. Welcome to the first official Devoted Brand podcast. Devoted Brand is one of my creative outlets housed inside Devoted Tattoo Studio. Not only do we boast 10 talented artists, some of which are award winning, we also have our own apparel line. Devoted Brand is a lifestyle positivity movement. Throughout the years, we have tried to create a clothing brand that we call our own, but each time we tried, we also failed. But it wasn't until we found a YouTube channel hosted by Estevan from All American Print Supply that really got us to where we want to be today. Estevan drops gem after gem with these powerhouse units all through the YouTube channel, making it completely user-friendly. Thankfully, I'm able to see these videos and use it in Devoted Brand, and I am honored to have joining us here today in Palm Coast, Florida, Estevan.
Hey, Michael, thank you so much for having me. I know this has been a little bit in the making. I know we've been talking about doing this, so super excited to be out there. Thank you so much for having us.
Hey, the honor is all ours. Glad that you guys came out here. This is freaking awesome. It's good to have you guys here in the house. Like I said, I've been watching you guys on YouTube, so awesome to have you guys right here in the studio seeing our setup.
No, absolutely. Been a long time coming. Happy to be here on board.
Like I said, happy to have Estevan here with us today. So for people that don't know anything about you, how would you describe yourself?
All right. I know it's a loaded question there. My name is Estevan Romero. I've been in the garment apparel industry for almost 15 years now. I'm the brand marketing lead for All American Print Supply, where we're, I'd say, the leading distributor of direct-to-garment and direct-to-film printing equipment and supplies. My spare time, I love travel, live music, spending time with my cat and my beautiful girlfriend, and eating her amazing cooking. My girls, not the cats.
Awesome, dude. Awesome. That's great to hear. So then, how did your whole printing and apparel sales career start?
All right. If we throw it back, I'd say about the year 2008, I met a friend, kind of a starving artist, sort of screen printer, super talented kid. He was printing out of his backyard, and he was selling like a shirt a month. So I kind of learned to screen print alongside him, and all my friends at the time were musicians. So kind of connected those two worlds, and I told him like, dude, we should be printing their merch. We should have tables at their shows because they're performing locally and with bigger acts. So that's exactly what we started doing. So we were printing, setting up at these shows, and selling everything. So from there, at the time, I'd been working a couple part-time jobs, just trying to kind of figure out my path. And eventually, I got a full-time job screen printing. I was telling Am a little bit, and that's where I met my mentor. So I was actually in the tattoo community, and got to travel around the country at the different tattoo conventions, learn the trade, and really change my mindset. I would say kind of changed my whole life as far as values, priorities, and just kind of really get in the right frame of thought. From there, I got picked up by a larger company, and with them, it wasn't as much on the production or actual printing side. I would be half the year kind of on the road with them. They were still in the guerrilla marketing phase, exhibiting at, well, they were involved kind of like in the rodeo, kind of cowboy community, the country music scene.
Okay.
So I got a taste of that, but I got to see the whole country, met awesome people. And the other half of the year, I was helping manage their retail location on Disney property. So eventually they got picked up distribution in the parks with their clothing line, and they didn't need the location anymore. So it was at that point kind of shifted gears more into the digital side of printing, kind of more on a educational and retail basis. So we're basically getting people into the entry level equipment, showing them how to use it, and basically trying to explain how this industry works and operates. So that's kind of where I started the YouTube thing, fell in love with that process. And then in 2019, I got the opportunity to join All American Print Supply. So I had to take it. And the rest is history. Now I'm here in Florida on this podcast, and kind of brings us to present day.
That's awesome. I mean, from in the trenches to actually now behind the camera, in front of the camera, all processes in between, that's freaking awesome. And that's why you have to have confidence in who you're buying your stuff from. This man knows it all inside and out. It's good to know that you're actually there, like behind the scenes, using the equipment, using the printers. Like that's what gives people confidence that they know they're not just buying it from just some place online. They're buying it from a place that knows what they're doing. So how would you say that YouTube has actually benefited yourself and all of our print supply?
Gosh, I mean, in this digital age where everything is so instantaneous, on demand, on the cell phone, YouTube has been big. I would say in 2019. Well, so I got into the company by a buddy referral who was joining at the same time and wanted to bring me on. So my first week, he takes off out of state, goes to this training for one of our distributors. So I'm there, the new kid on the block, don't know anyone at this company. He tells me that, hey, I got this influencer guy we want to work with, and he wants a printer. So he comes in, I give him the full DTG demo as best I could on my first week, and he's documenting the whole process. We covered all of his financing, and he basically took his audience, and he was kind of an entrepreneurial sort of, selling candy, doing vending machine stuff. I think he had his automotive retail sales license at such a young age. So that's kind of where his channel was geared towards. So he had a built-in audience, and then he was covering the direct-to-garment acquisition, going through the process, setting it up, showing how to run it. And with that exposure, I think that really just launched the All American Print Supply to where we are today. We would get calls, just, I want the Kenyon package, or, I want that printer, I want that pre-treat machine, that heat press. So that really kind of took us off, because there's really only, I'd say, about maybe less than 30 of us who sell the Epson line of DTG, which is kind of, one of our bread and butter flagship products. So just being able to catapult that and take our company really competing and overthrowing some of the other players in the industry, that was awesome to see. So that really kind of set the stage as far as where we are and the way we try to take our approach to the trade show conventions. So there's a circuit of that kind of goes across the U.S. And I think I told you, some of the other people exhibiting at these things, you can just look at them that they're bored, they're tired, they don't want to be there.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel we take, maybe it's because we're younger than them, or we try to have a very dynamic approach. If it's in our marketing, if it's in our YouTube videos, but the trade show experience, man, it's not for everybody. It's crazy hours, it's red eye flights, setting up these monstrous booths, these big machines.
Yeah.
But if you have the stomach for it, the endurance for it, and you can enjoy it, it's fun. You're in, like you said, the trenches. You're
Mm-hmm.
dealing direct with customer, and it's different doing direct to retail sales. And I feel I'm more of a people person, so that whole experience, being able to connect with individuals one on one and kind of explain how we can elevate their business. So, and I think that all really came from the YouTube platform, because we have our regions and our territories and such, but with the reach and the power of the internet and YouTube, I would say that really kind of set the stage, and to kind of where our marketing department is now, and our approach, like we said, to our videos. Just I try to explain things to people on the videos the way I can understand it.
Mm-hmm.
I think I was telling you before, I'll say the same thing 3 different ways just so it sticks, because that's what works for me. Just kind of drilling it in. I got to take the approach that there's a lot of people who are doing this for the very first time. So you want to make sure that what you're telling them makes sense, but also, again, keeping their attention. Because it's not the X Games. We're not covering the most exciting stuff in the world. It's it's printers, it's garment apparel, but what it can do for someone's business, what it can do for someone's life, if they can understand it, there's so many possibilities where they can go.
Yeah, that's true. To go back on the YouTube, like, I'm glad you guys have that outlet, because without that, I wouldn't have gotten on there. And like you said too, like, being able to put it in layman's terms, but then also to kind of put a little bit of a twist to it that lets everybody know, like, exactly how to use the machines, how to unbox everything, and how to really create with these machines. Um, I love all the content you guys drop. With all that you've seen in the industry, what would you say would be like the perfect like startup setup for somebody? Should they go like a DTG route? Should they go a DTF route? What do you think would be better if I didn't know anything about what I was doing? I just had a dream of making my own apparel.
Yeah.
What would I do?
That's the dream, right?
Mm-hmm.
If you're watching this video, if they've seen our channel, things like that, been to the website, if you had asked me that question 5 years ago, without hesitation, my answer would have been get a vinyl cutter, get a heat press, start there. If you would have asked me, maybe 2019, right before the pandemic, I would have thought, just with the ease of use of things like the Epson DTG, it is an investment. It is an entry point, cost of pay to play. But I think right now, if you look at direct to film, if you look at the learning curve, the entry point price, the cost to produce each piece, and the quality of the final product, I think I'd be foolish not to say direct to film, based on what you were saying as far as what would you do beginner just starting off. The range of the equipments, you've seen some of the desktop ones. You guys have been killing it with the 13-inch wide.
Thank you.
We have offerings such as a 16, a 24. They go up to 64. So I'd say with the stabilization of this technology, largely in part thanks to DTG, because, I think we talked a little bit, DTG kind of got off to a rocky start, when you're dealing with white ink, that management, converting printers and things like that. But every pitfall that direct to garment, every roadblock, speed bump that DTG had to go through, DTG walks so DTF can run.
Yep.
So I think that's really fast tracked where we are and why we've seen so much advancement. And that's really why I feel so fortunate that we were early adopters. Being able to see what the potential of this technology was able to do and the reach that the broader spectrum of what this kind of printing would be able to help for people. So I think it's really given us the position to be where we are today.
And well, I mean, you know that I don't know if you know or not, but you guys have been very influential in Devoted Brand and the way that we run our stuff. Without having that DTF setup, I wouldn't be able to do what I'm doing. I've tried, using different routes. I've gone the silk screen method. I've gone, the HTV method, which you
Yeah.
touched on before. Very time consuming, very, precise. If you want to get
Yeah.
small designs, hey, go with your DTF. That's my opinion. If you want to do anything, fine line, easy work, like intricate work, DTF is going to nail it every day, in and out. It's like the man said, DTF, more affordable. You have what the new is it A4?
Yes.
The A4 just released. That's a nice little, almost like a legal size print, right?
Legal size wide. So A4, for those who may not know the metric measurements, that's referring to about a 8.5, 8.25 wide, but it's a roll printer. So if you need to go wider than 8, you rotate that design 90 degrees in the user-friendly RIP software, and you basically have unlimited potential lengthwise. And similar to heat transfer vinyl, you can layer and multi-piece together. So if you want to do a double sexy, triple sexy, big boy tee, you can print out those different designs and segments, position them on there, and apply them as just as easy. But you're not weeding, you're not cutting, you're not preparing each individual color. You have no limit on your spectrums with it, and like you said, the fine detail. I mean, talk about things like these custom neck labels, or if you're going into fine detail on that, there's really no cap on what you can do with direct to film, whether it's from an artwork perspective or from a materials perspective.
That's true. That's true, because you have to also see if like your garment is polyester based, if it has some kind of mix, some kind of blends. This whole DTF thing has been basically the bread and butter of Devoted Brand. Thankful for people like Estevan and his company that just like puts out the best content, the best products. Like without them, we wouldn't be here. So it's really awesome to have you guys here. Is there anything that you'd want to say just in closing to anyone?
There is one thing, we'll get this question sometimes, and for people watching or maybe thinking about or on the fence about getting something started, I'd say some of the best advice I've given that I try to relay is to not try to be everything to everyone. I think you guys are seeing your success because you have your target market, your community that you're invested in, that you're passionate about. So for people looking to start something, I think that's a great place to put your energy and your focus, your attention, whether that's motocross or music or sports or church or things like that. Go into those communities first, and have pillars. I think you've talked about some of the cornerstones that you want Devoted Brand to stand for, and how you want to reflect that in the work and the designs and things of that nature. So if you have that leg up, you're already going to be ahead of the game as far as maybe outsiders trying to get into that community, and then you expand from there. So I'd say kind of have your target market, focus on what you care about, those kind of things, and focus on quality over quantity for sure. Dial in your process, dial in your designs, and then expand outward from there. So those would be probably, I'd say, the best piece of advice. Kind of know your market, know who you want to sell to, keep that in mind as you're designing, and then focus on the quality over quantity firstly, and everything else should follow.
Like I said earlier, gem after gem. This man does not stop. He's giving you his outlook on what you should do, what you should use, what we use. It's awesome. Thank you so much for coming out here, all the way from California. Very grateful to have you guys here. It's been fun. I do appreciate you being here on our first official podcast.
Number one, baby. That's right. We're not done yet. If you guys haven't already, make sure you subscribe to all their different channels, all their different socials, Devoted Brand.
Yep.
Check out the website. It's thedevotedbrand.com.
Don't forget All American Supply.
Oh, man. Well, if
you
you guys
plug you guys
if
too.
you guys want to check out some of our awesome adventures, any of our product walkthroughs, trade show coverage, tips and tricks, any things that maybe have been helpful for you, you can find us on all your social platforms. It's A Print Supply Co. YouTube, Twitter, TikTok. I'm not as big of a dancer, on there, but try to throw all of our content, if it's long form or short form. Instagram, it's at A Print Supply Co. All your different socials. Go subscribe.
And Esteban said, if you want to, you do want to get yourself on that platform, on those platforms, excuse me, and watch all that content. This stuff is a treasure chest. You're going to do great. You're going to make great stuff. And, thank you guys once again.
No, it was a pleasure. We got a lot more in store. Make sure you guys stay tuned. Thank you so much for having us. It's been an honor and pleasure. A little bit in the make. I know we've been talking about getting this, so we're really excited to finally be out here, and we got some more work to do.
Yes, awesome, bro. Thank you so much.
Oh, my pleasure, brother.
All right. You guys, thank you once again. Like the man said, you follow him or follow the company at All American A.
It's at AA Print Supply Co.
I messed up there. Sorry. So AA Print Supply Co. on most platforms, and then also the Devoted brand on Instagram and YouTube. Thank you once again.
What are these glasses doing here? Mike, aren't these yours?
Oh, yeah. Hey, Adam, shouldn't you be hustling hard on that new shirt we have dropping? Get to it.
Hey, you guys, stay tuned for the new collection we have dropping soon. This one's for all the hard workers.
For the hard workers. More like for the hustlers. What is it? What's going on?
Oh, this is the best powder on the west side. Hey, Mike, come get your gringo ass out here and go work these shirts on the corner.
Okay.
Direct-to-film powder should not be used recreationally and only during the process of garment creation. We must advise that wearing sunglasses does not automatically make you a hustler. Thank you.
We have these new shirts.